September 24th, 2023. A canister lands in the Utah desert, traveling at 27,000 miles per hour. Inside, 121 grams of the blackest dust you've ever seen. Scientists open it, run the first tests, and find something no one expected. Amino acids, nucleobases, the molecular building blocks that life on Earth uses to copy itself. Not from Earth. From a rock that's been floating in space for 4.5 billion years. Which raises a question we've never been able to answer with evidence. Did life's ingredients arrive here from somewhere else? And if they're on a dead rock tumbling through the void, what's in the ocean beneath Europa's ice? We're about to find out. Here's the mystery. Early Earth was hell, molten surface, bombardment, no atmosphere worth mentioning. For the first few 100 million years, nothing could survive. Then, geologically speaking, immediately, we find evidence of life. 3.8 billion years ago, maybe earlier, microbial mats, chemical signatures. That's fast. Suspiciously fast. Where did the ingredients come from? How did chemistry get complex enough, quickly enough, to bootstrap life? One idea: delivery. While Earth was cooling, asteroids and comets kept arriving. Millions of them. Not just water, though they brought that too, but chemistry. Organic molecules, carbon compounds, ices loaded with the raw materials. Think of it as a cosmic supply chain. And the delivery never stopped. It's still happening. A few hundred tons of space dust settle on Earth every day. But for 200 years, this was speculation. We could see organic signatures in meteorites, but always contaminated by Earth. We could model what asteroids might carry, but we'd never sampled a pristine one. In 30 seconds, you'll see what changed everything. Until September 2023. Meet Bennu, an asteroid half a kilometer across, shaped like a spinning top. It orbits between Earth and Mars, occasionally crossing our path. Why Bennu? First, it's a carbonaceous asteroid, meaning it's rich in carbon, likely holding on to the same primordial material that built the solar system. Second, it's old. Bennu formed in the first 10 million years after the solar system coalesced. It's a time capsule. Third, it's accessible. Its orbit brings it close to Earth every 6 years. So in 2016, NASA launched OSIRIS-REx. Not to orbit, not to land. To kiss and grab. October 20th, 2020. The spacecraft descends to Bennu's surface, a rubble pile held together by weak gravity. The sampling arm extends. Contact for 5 seconds. A burst of nitrogen gas blasts the surface. Dust and pebbles shoot up into the collector head. The thrusters fire. The spacecraft pulls away. Look at that! The surface is so loosely packed it behaves like a liquid. Bennu isn't rock. It's barely held together gravel. And in those 5 seconds, OSIRIS-REx grabbed 121 grams. More than expected. So much it jammed the lid open, and precious material started leaking into space. Shoo! They sealed it, stowed it, and began the 3-year journey home. September 2023. The sample lands. Scientists transport it to NASA's Johnson Space Center. Level 4 cleanroom. No Earth contamination allowed. They open the canister. Tar black powder. Some pebbles. It smells faintly organic. Not like rot, like rich soil, wet leaves. First tests. Mass spectrometry. Split the sample. Vaporize a tiny amount. Measure what molecules show up. And there they are. Amino acids. At least 15 different types. Glycine, the simplest. Alanine. Others we don't even have names for yet. Nucleobases. Adenine, guanine. Pieces of what becomes DNA and RNA. Sugars. Not table sugar. Ribose and other molecules that form the backbone of genetic code. Water. Locked-in minerals, about 5% by weight. Hydrated clays. This isn't contamination. The isotope ratios don't match Earth. This is alien chemistry, not from Mars or Europa, but from the asteroid belt, from before Earth existed. Let's be clear, this is not life. This is not even close to life. But it's the Lego bricks of life. The chemical alphabet. On Earth, these molecules combine in specific ways to create proteins from amino acids, DNA and RNA from nucleobases plus sugars plus phosphate, metabolic cycles, which need all of the above. Finding them on Bennu means these molecules form naturally, no biology required, just chemistry, time, and the right conditions. So where did they come from? Rewind 4.5 billion years. The solar system is a swirling disk of gas and dust around a newborn sun. Out beyond the snow line, where it's cold enough for water to freeze, ices condense on tiny grains. Not just water ice, also ammonia, methanol, carbon dioxide, formaldehyde. These ices stick together. Ultraviolet light from nearby stars, cosmic rays, and radioactive decay in the rocks themselves provide energy. Over millions of years, simple molecules react. Carbon chains lengthen. Nitrogen finds its way into rings. Hydroxyl groups attach. You don't need heat. You don't need pressure. You just need carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, abundant everywhere. Water ice, a solvent, even frozen. Energy, UV, radiation, impacts. Time, millions to billions of years. And you get prebiotic chemistry. Not life, not even close, but the inventory that makes life possible. Here's why this matters. 1. If it happened on Bennu, it happened on thousands of other asteroids and comets. The early solar system was rich in organic chemistry. Earth didn't start from scratch, it got a head start. 2. This process isn't unique to our solar system. We see the same molecules in interstellar clouds, in other star-forming regions, even in comets. Wherever there's carbon, water ice, and energy, this chemistry happens. 3. Which means every rocky planet, every icy moon with water, inherited the same starter kit, including Europa. And Europa didn't just get the ingredients, it's kept them, locked in an ocean, for 4 billion years. March 1979. Voyager 2 flies past Jupiter's moon, Europa. Scientists expect a cratered, dead ice ball, like our moon, but frozen. Instead, they see this. A surface covered in cracks, ridges, and chaotic terrain. Almost no craters, which means the surface is young, constantly resurfacing, and smooth. Unnaturally smooth. The surface isn't rock, It's ice. Miles of it. But why so few craters? Why the cracks? Something beneath the ice is active. Europa orbits Jupiter every 3.5 days. But it's not a circular orbit. It's slightly elliptical, locked in resonance with two other moons, Io and Ganymede. As Europa swings closer to Jupiter, then farther away, Jupiter's immense gravity stretches and squeezes the moon, like kneading dough. This tidal flexing generates heat, not from radioactivity, from friction. The interior warms, ice melts, and that heat doesn't shut off. It's been running for 4 billion years. By the 1990s, when Galileo orbited Jupiter, scientists had a hypothesis. Beneath the ice lies a global ocean, liquid water, salt water, possibly 100 kilometers deep. Galileo carried a magnetometer. It measured how Jupiter's magnetic field bent around Europa. The data showed something conductive inside Europa, moving, sloshing. Salty water, full of dissolved minerals, creates a magnetic signature. Later, the Hubble Space Telescope spotted plumes, jets of water vapor erupting from cracks in the ice, reaching 200 kilometers high. The ocean isn't theoretical anymore. It's real, it's salty, and occasionally, it vents to space. Let's build Europa from the bottom up. The core, rocky. Silicate minerals, possibly iron, similar to Earth's mantle. The seafloor, where that rock meets water. And here's where it gets interesting. On Earth, where seawater meets hot rock, you get hydrothermal vents. Mineral-rich water, superheated by volcanic activity, spews into cold ocean. Minerals precipitate. Chemical gradients form. And around those vents on Earth, life. Not powered by sunlight, powered by chemistry. Chemosynthetic bacteria, tube worms, entire ecosystems that have never seen the sun. Could Europa have hydrothermal vents? We don't know. But tidal heating warms the rocky core. That heat has to go somewhere. Cracks in the seafloor, convection, volcanism. If Earth does it, Europa probably does too. Look at Europa's surface in infrared. You see colors, chemical signatures, sodium chloride, table salt, exactly what you'd get from evaporating seawater, magnesium sulfate, Epsom salt, common in volcanic hydrothermal systems, hydrogen peroxide, formed when Jupiter's radiation hits surface ice and splits water molecules. These aren't random, they're clues. The salts tell us the ocean is chemically active. It's not pure water, it's brine, rich in dissolved minerals. Those minerals came from the sea floor, which means there's circulation. Water moves. It touches rock. It dissolves minerals. It rises to the surface, freezes, cracks, and cycles back down. This is geochemistry at scale. The kind of environment where chemistry gets interesting. Life needs 3 things. Liquid water, check, 100-kilometer deep ocean. Organic molecules, check, delivered by impacts, synthesized in situ. Energy, check, tidal heating, chemical gradients. The third one is where it gets speculative. On Earth, hydrothermal vents provide energy by mixing electron donors like hydrogen gas, methane with electron acceptors like oxygen, sulfate. Microbes harvest that energy gap. It's not photosynthesis, it's chemosynthesis. Does Europa's ocean have those ingredients? We don't know yet. But if the seafloor is active, if there are hydrothermal vents, then yes, probably. And if there's energy, the question isn't, could life exist? It's, is anyone home? October 14, 2024. A SpaceX Falcon Heavy launches from Kennedy Space Center. Payload: Europa Clipper, the largest planetary science spacecraft NASA's ever built. Solar panels the size of a basketball court. 9 instruments, 1 target. Why now? Because after 45 years of hints, we're finally ready to ask the big questions. How thick is the ice? Where are the warmest spots? What's in those plumes? Is the ocean habitable? Arrival, April 2030. Here's the challenge. Europa orbits inside Jupiter's radiation belts. It's bathed in high-energy particles. Any spacecraft orbiting Europa would get fried in months. So Clipper doesn't orbit Europa. It orbits Jupiter. But the orbit is designed so that every 2 to 3 weeks, Clipper swings close to Europa, sometimes as low as 25 kilometers above the surface. Snap photos, take measurements, then swing back out to safety. 49 flybys over 4 years, each one targeting different regions, building a global map. It's like a reconnaissance campaign. Hit-and-run science. 9 instruments. Let's focus on the 4 that matter most. 1. Ice-penetrating radar, RESM. Sends radio waves down through the ice, measures reflections, tells us ice shell thickness, estimated 15 to 25 kilometers, but could vary. Subsurface structures, lenses of liquid water in the ice, where the ice meets the ocean. If we find thin spots or pockets of liquid close to the surface, that's where future landers should aim. 2. Magnetometer, ECM. Measures how Europa's salty ocean distorts Jupiter's magnetic field. Tells us ocean depth, probably 60 to 150 kilometers deep. Salinity, how much salt. Conductivity, what minerals are dissolved. More salt equals more dissolved minerals, equals more interaction with the seafloor. 3. Thermal imager, ETHEMIS. Maps surface temperature. Looks for warm spots, where the ocean is closer to the surface. Active venting sites, plumes erupting through cracks. Thin ice regions, easier to access. If we find a geyser, we can fly through it. Sample the ocean without drilling. 4. Mass spectrometer, MASSPEX. If Clipper flies through a plume, MASSPEX will taste it. Measure water vapor, obviously. Salts, sodium, potassium, chlorides, sulfates. Organic molecules, amino acids, sugars, lipids. Gases, methane, hydrogen, oxygen. This is the big one. If we detect complex organics in the plume, that's not proof of life, but it's evidence that the ocean is chemically rich, that the building blocks are there. And if we detect methane or hydrogen at certain ratios, that could indicate biological processes. By 2034, when the mission ends, we'll have a global map of Europa's surface at 50-meter resolution, ice thickness estimates across the entire moon, composition data from multiple plumes, temperature maps showing where the ocean is most accessible, magnetic data revealing ocean depth and salinity. We won't land, we won't drill, but we'll know where to send the next mission. And we'll answer the question, is Europa's ocean habitable? If the answer is yes, we'll need to go back. With a lander, with a drill, and with the nerve to ask if we're alone. Europa isn't alone. Enceladus, Saturn's moon. Confirmed subsurface ocean. Active plumes. Organic molecules detected by Cassini. Titan, Saturn's moon. Liquid methane lakes on the surface. Possibly a water ocean deep below. Ganymede, Jupiter's moon. Larger than Mercury. Magnetic field. Probable ocean beneath ice. Callisto, Jupiter's moon. Old, cratered surface, but magnetic data suggests liquid water deep inside. Triton, Neptune's moon. Nitrogen geysers, tidal heating, possibly liquid water. Even Pluto, 3.6 billion miles from the Sun, might have a subsurface ocean, kept liquid by radioactive decay in its core. Ocean worlds outnumber rocky worlds, and we're just starting to count them. For decades, we defined habitability narrowly. The Goldilocks zone around a star. Not too hot, not too cold. Liquid water on the surface. That gave us a small target. One planet per star system, maybe. But now we know. Habitability doesn't require sunlight. It requires liquid water, can be beneath ice. Chemical energy, tidal heating, radioactive decay. Organic chemistry, delivered by impacts made in situ. And those conditions exist on icy moons everywhere. Around gas giants, around ice giants. Even rogue planets drifting between stars could have subsurface oceans, heated from within. The galaxy isn't full of rare, Earth-like worlds. It's full of hidden oceans. And we've barely started looking. Let's say Europa Clipper finds complex organics in a plume. Amino acids, lipids, maybe even something that looks like a cell membrane fragment. How do we know it's life? We don't. Not from a flyby. Life and complex chemistry can look similar. You need to show metabolism. Something is consuming energy and producing waste. Replication. Molecules copying themselves. Evolution. Populations changing over time. You can't prove that from a mass spectrometer reading. You need sustained observation. Samples. Experiments. So if Clipper detects something interesting, the honest answer is, we need to go back. With a lander. With a submersible. With patience. Here's the other possibility. Europa's ocean is sterile. Water, salts, maybe some organic chemistry, but no life, no microbes, no metabolism. What would that mean? It would mean life is harder to start than we thought. Earth had life 3.8 billion years ago, possibly earlier. That's fast. Geologically, instantaneous. Which suggests either life emerges easily given the right conditions, or Earth got very, very lucky. If Europa, with 4 billion years, a global ocean, tidal heating and organic delivery, is lifeless, that's a data point. It means the gap between chemistry and biology is bigger than we assumed. It wouldn't kill the search for life, but it would make us humble. And it would make Earth feel even more improbable. There's a risk we don't talk about enough. Forward contamination. If Earth microbes hitch a ride on Clipper and survive the radiation, the cold, the journey, and somehow make it into Europa's ocean, we've just performed the worst biological experiment in history. We'd contaminate a pristine ocean with Earth life. And we'd never know if what we find is native or invasive. That's why Clipper will never land, why it's been sterilized, why its final act, after 49 flybys, will be to crash into Ganymede, far from Europa, ending the mission safely. If we ever send a lander, the standards will be even stricter. Clean rooms, heat sterilization, radiation baths. Because the worst outcome isn't finding nothing. It's finding us. Here's what's coming. 2030. Europa Clipper arrives. First flybys begin. 2031 to 2034. 49 flybys. Data returns. Maps built. Plume samples analyzed. 2034. Mission ends. Clipper crashes into Ganymede. 2035 to 2040. Scientists analyze the full dataset. Papers published. Discoveries debated. 2040. If Clipper finds evidence of habitability, especially active plumes with organics, NASA and ESA will start planning a Europa lander. 2050. If funding and politics align, a lander mission launches, arrives mid-2060-50s. We're talking decades, multiple generations of scientists. But that's how exploration works. Slow, careful, building on what came before. A lander would touch down near a warm spot or thin ice region identified by Clipper, deploy a cryobot, the heated probe that melts through ice, lower a hydrobot, a submersible that explores the ocean beneath, sample, image, search for metabolic signatures. It's technically feasible. We've tested prototypes in Antarctic ice, but it's expensive, risky, and politically hard to fund. Which is why Clipper matters so much. If it finds compelling evidence of habitability, the case for a lander becomes undeniable. Europa Clipper's data will be public. Anyone can access it. When the flybys happen, you can watch. When images come down, you can explore them. Citizen scientists have already contributed to planetary missions, mapping craters, classifying surface features, spotting anomalies. And when the big question is asked, should we send a lander? Public support will matter. Missions get funded when people care. So if this story moves you, share it. Follow the mission. Stay curious. Because the answer to, are we alone? Might be waiting in the ocean beneath Europa's ice. And the first clue arrives in 2030. We started with a black grain from Bennu. Amino acids, nucleobases, the chemical alphabet of life formed in darkness 4.5 billion years ago. We end with an ocean beneath ice, 100 kilometers deep, warmed by tides, rich in salts, possibly venting through cracks. These aren't separate stories. They're the same story. Bennu tells us the ingredients are everywhere. Delivered by asteroids, synthesized in ices, abundant across the solar system. Europa tells us the kitchens are out there too. Hidden oceans, energy sources, stable environments lasting billions of years. For most of human history, we thought Earth was the universe. Then we learned we're one planet among 8, one star among billions, one galaxy among trillions. Now we're learning we might be one ocean among many. If Europa has life, it started independently. Different origin, different chemistry, different story. Which means life isn't a fluke. It's a pattern. It happens. And if it happened twice in one solar system, then the universe is full of it. Or it's not. And we're alone, staring out at sterile oceans, holding the only spark. Either answer changes everything. In 2030, we start finding out. This is Cosmic Canvas, where the universe isn't just studied, it's painted in meaning. If this story moved you, share it. The search for life beyond Earth isn't just a mission. It's a question that belongs to all of us. Until next time, keep asking, keep looking up, and never stop wondering.